Project Gotham Racing is another in one of Microsoft's many Xbox launch titles this Thursday. It is the unofficial sequel to Bizarre Creations' Metropolis Street Racer, and it's notable for many reasons, not the least of which is that it's the first game since Need for Speed High Stakes to include both the Porsche and Ferrari licenses. Many people have been comparing this game to GT3 for the PS2, but they're really not the same. Obviously they're both about driving and racing, and obviously they both have exotic cars and exotic locations, but Gotham is really focuses more on the Kudo system, which if anyone's played Metropolis Street Racer knows what it is. It's a system that rewards you for driving with an air of style rather than just driving fast. You know, every time you pull off a power slide, you get some air, you go through cones, you pull off a slalom, you get these kudos points. And at the end of a level, if you've accumulated enough kudos points, you'll be awarded either a bronze, silver, or gold medal. You get a certain number of medals, you can unlock a new car or unlock a new track. So whereas GT3 has nearly 150 cars and a handful of tracks, Project Gotham Racing has only 29 cars but over 200 tracks. These levels include cities like Tokyo, London, San Francisco, and New York. New York is the new level that wasn't included in Metropolis Street Racer. In each of these cities, the game has 3 districts, for example, Tokyo's Shinjuku or London's St. James Park, San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf, and each of these 4 districts has 17 levels for a grand total of 204 tracks. Now most of these tracks really don't vary that much from one another. Some will have a different turn than another, but having just the mere fact that it has 204 tracks will keep you coming back for hours and hours and hours on end. Project Gotham Racing's graphics are notable for 2 reasons. First of which is that the cars themselves are destructible. You can bend fenders, you can break mirrors, you can shatter your tail lamps, your headlights, but you can't really total your car, and none of the damage really affects performance, or actually doesn't affect performance at all. It's all aesthetic. The second reason the graphics are notable is because the amount of geometry that the engine pushes. In the levels like New York and Tokyo, there's just so many buildings and so many peripheral objects like trees and subway stations and potholes with steam coming out of them. The designers at Bizarre really modeled each city to look like its true-to-life counterpart. The sound leaves a little something to be desired. There's enough variance between each of the 29 cars' engine noises and exhaust notes to be realistic, but individually they don't sound like they would in real life. They seem much weaker and much more high-pitched. Likewise, the soundtrack is also kind of weak. They have lots of songs, but none that'll interest most people. But there is a cool feature of the Xbox that you can rip your own CD audio onto the hard drive and then have the game play your own soundtrack. And the interesting part about it is that there are DJs in the game, actual DJs like Live 105 in San Francisco and Hot 97 in New York, and their DJs will actually talk over your songs, the beginning and end of your songs, just like they were their own songs, and so it's a very realistic effect. And ultimately, people looking for the next Gran Turismo really won't be happy with this game. It's kind of a racing game meets Tony Hawk 3. It's fun, it might be a little bit frustrating, but it's a great game. It's really the only such game you can get for the Xbox right now. And even if it wasn't, anyone who's really interested in cars, especially Porsches and Ferraris, will really like this game, and I highly recommend that they pick it up.